If you're familiar with minimalists, you might have seen how they try to detach themselves from material possessions. Let's take yoga for example. A non-minimalist might roll out a yoga mat, set aside some yoga blocks, and stretch out their yoga pants. But a minimalist will ask, are these objects essential to my well-being? Maybe you don't need the mat, or the blocks, or the pants. Okay, too much. We can keep our pants on to appreciate the most important object in our lives, our own body. And taking care of your body doesn't require as many objects as you might think. The first minimalist habit I want to share with you is a meta habit, which is a habit that helps you form another habit. On a recent episode from the Huberman Lab podcast called Using Caffeine to Optimize Your Mental and Physical Performance, which I've linked in the description below, Dr. Andrew Huberman presented research showing how consuming caffeine helps to positively reinforce the surrounding experiences that accompany caffeine. So say you're like me and you enjoy stopping by your local coffee shop in the mornings. Even though you're just going to pick up coffee, you'll still develop this affinity towards the place, to the point where just thinking about it gives you this warm, fuzzy feeling. I think for many of us who drink coffee on a regular basis, we have a preferred place that we go to get it. And that really is the positive reinforcement effect at play, making your brain feel good vibes towards the place where you obtain caffeine. The good vibes doesn't stop at the place, it also extends towards the actions that you perform. This could mean the walking towards the coffee shop, or for those of us who make coffee at home, the making of the coffee, or whatever it is you do while you're drinking the coffee. If you often drink coffee with a specific friend, you'll start to feel good vibes towards that friend. Now, what if we pair caffeine with a healthy habit we're trying to form instead? Say I want to do yoga more, I will drink coffee every time before I start a yoga session. If the research holds, yoga will eventually bring good vibes to you and you'll naturally want to do it more. And one day, even when you stop pairing caffeine with a habit, the good vibes are long lasting and yoga or whatever habit you chose is just going to become a part of the arsenal of activities that bring you joy. Now, before we go off and start drinking copious amounts of coffee, caffeine is well understood to negatively impact the quality of your sleep. I think if you want to be a healthy person, getting consistent good sleep is almost non-negotiable. This is a controversial topic because a lot of activities that bring me joy also disrupt my sleep. For example, I really enjoy drinking caffeinated boba in the late afternoon. I also enjoy staying up way past my bedtime for nightlife activities. And I enjoy traveling across different time zones, which messes up my internal body clock. If you've seen my previous video, I talked about how minimalism embodies sacrifice. Even then, I don't think I have it in me to just let go of all these activities. So what I can try to do is to make them the exception rather than the norm. For me, that's once a month. I will voluntarily give up my healthy sleep habits once a month for a wild night of sleep-disrupting shenanigans. If you think about it, that's still 12 wild nights in a year. I'm practically a party animal. Now back to the boring stuff. The second healthy habit I want to share is my sleep protocol. There are 3 simple rules that I follow. All of them are sourced from the Master Your Sleep episode from the Huberman Lab podcast, which I've linked in the description below. Okay, we're going to rapid fire through these so we can get to the fun stuff later. Rule number 1, every morning after I wake up, before I even brush my teeth, I go outside for a 10-minute walk to absorb some sunlight, which helps to reset my body clock so I sleep better at night. Rule number 2, I drink my coffee sometime between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., either before or after exercising. And that's the only time I consume caffeine to minimize the sleep-disrupting effects. Rule number 3, on a typical day, I go to sleep sometime between 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. so that I can maintain a consistent sleep schedule. There are many more recommendations from the podcast, but these 3 minimal rules are the ones I follow consistently over the past few months, and I already feel a night and day difference in my energy levels. I think the next healthy habit is a minimalist favorite, meditation. I am a naturally anxious person, and there's always a lot of fear and doubt swirling around in my head. I think a common thought is, what if I'm not living up to somebody else's expectations? Or even worse, what if I'm not living up to my own expectations? The word expectations is not well defined, and the more I think about it, the more unrealistic the expectations become, and you slowly spiral into the self-fulfilling prophecy of not being able to meet your expectations. Right before the pandemic first started, I had a lot of momentum going for me in my career, hobbies, and social life. Then everything screeched to a halt, and I was like, this sucks. I'm about to enter the prime of my years, and now I'm just watching my life waste away before my eyes. I started to feel this tightness in my chest, and I had trouble staying asleep at night. That's when I earnestly started my meditation practice. I practiced mindfulness meditation, which is a form of meditation that doesn't focus so much on your breathing, but it's more about letting thoughts come and go and accepting the world as it is. It wasn't anybody's fault that our lives were put on a standstill. Sometimes the world gives us lemons and we make lemonade. I meditated almost every day for a few years, and it has healed both my anxiety and my sleep. And now that I don't feel as anxious, I'm ashamed to admit that I've actually fallen out of my daily meditation habit, and I hope to get back into it. If meditation really isn't your thing, going for a walk in nature could have a similar effect. The key is to have something simple to focus on that's completely unrelated to whatever is causing you anxiety. It could be a plant, an animal, a smell, or a sound. To live peacefully is to accept that life goes on with or without your anxious thoughts. The last healthy habit is one I've tried to adopt recently, and I'm going to call it relief. When we were younger, we take a lot of things for granted, and two of the most egregious things are our ability to laugh at the world and our ability to recover from pain. I don't have the research to back up my claims this time, but intuitively, I think having a good sense of humor and being free of pain are probably healthy things you want to carry into your later years. But I honestly can't remember the last time I laughed, like truly laughed from the guts. And that makes me kind of sad. If you can remember the last time you had a really good laugh, can you share it in the comments below? I'm really curious about how we can bring more comedy into our lives. As for recovering from pain, I've been having a lot of back pain recently, so I've been experimenting with different techniques to soothe the pain. There's this Korean spa here in LA, and I've discovered that if you go into the sauna for 10 minutes and you come out and you sprawl out naked on the pool chair, try not to picture it, but you'll feel this full body relief wash over you. I've tried stretching, foam rollers, massages, and nothing even comes close to the restorative feeling of getting out of a sauna, and the feeling lasts for days afterwards. It worked not only for my back pain, but also for helping my sore muscles recover from working out. If you don't have access to a sauna, a hot bath is probably the next best thing. So there you have it, my minimalist healthy habits, and my next video is going to be about digital minimalism. Subscribe to stay tuned. Take care of your bodies. Our minimalist journey is just beginning.